Thank you. Thank you, Stefan. We almost didn't make it through that song the first service. We were all so emotional, so it's nice to have two services. Good morning, and happy Mother's Day. So we're here today to celebrate motherhood. We're here today to celebrate the divine feminine, the goddess energy, the nurturing energy of spirit that we are all, whether we're male or female, whether we're biological mothers or not, we are all connected to the divine feminine, and that presence and that spirit flows through us. We've also this year been looking at the idea of the dream and how sometimes when we have a dream for ourselves or something that we want to do, that in truth the dream could be bigger than who we are. And the dream gets on a life of its own. We may have started the dream, and the dream may begin to move through us, but then the dream takes on its own life. You know, such as his dream is with like Bill Gates and Microsoft, yeah? It just sort of kept going into this whole new world that we didn't know. And the truth is that Mother's Day began because it was a dream, and it was a dream of Julia Ward Howe. And she lived during the Civil War. She had children, and she was really sickened by the carnage that she saw during the Civil War and how horrible it was. So she decided that there should be a Mother's Day for peace, that there should be a day where women come together and say, hey, you know what, let's kind of be done with war here, let's kind of be done with violence. Amen. Keeps going and going, doesn't it? And so she put forth this proclamation for mothers, you know, for women to stand together and to stand together in peace. Well, as a dream would have it, you know, she put her dream out there, and it continues to reverberate throughout the centuries. And the dream was picked up only in a different way by another woman, and it was Anna Jarvis. And Anna Jarvis' mom was an activist and a social worker, and Anna loved her mother so much that she thought that there should be a day to commemorate mothers. And so eventually on May 8th in 1914, Woodrow Wilson declared that this was a national holiday. So we're almost going on 100 years in our country in the celebration of Mother's Day. So it began with the dream, a mother's dream from Julia Ward Howe. She also was the woman who wrote the lyrics to the Battle Hymn of the Republic, because the tune for Battle Hymn of the Republic had been around for quite a long time, and it was used in all different kinds of songs. And the current favorite was something about old John Brown's body is laying dead on the ground. And you know, it was reflective of the Civil War and what was happening. And so she wanted to take that song, which everybody knew, or at least that tune, and she wanted to elevate it to a different place. And so the Battle Hymn of the Republic was born, which was a call against war and a call again to the end of slavery. And so that was her dream, was to put that out into the world. So as a dream would have it, as Mother's Day would have it, Mother's Day has kind of taken on a life of its own. And the Mother's Day that we celebrate today pretty much encompasses the celebration of our biological moms, our adopted moms, or people who have held that role for us in our lives, and also about the connection between mother and child, that it's such a bond that there really are no words to describe how strong the connection is, and a father too, a father and a child, and a mother and a child is. I was reading an article about the 10 top movies that illustrated motherhood more than any other movies. And one of the movies that came out in the top 10 was Poltergeist. Yeah. Remember Poltergeist? Because what did she do in that movie? She literally walked into the gates of hell in order to bring her child back. She snatches her child out of the jaws of the beast. And you know, when we talk about motherhood, there's all these, oh, it's love and it's nurturing and it's kindness, but there's a fierceness that goes with being a mother as well, isn't there? And a father, but there's a fierceness that you will do anything to save your child, that you will sacrifice anything, and you will walk through fire there in order to save your child. So there's that fierceness that goes along with it. And that's the fierceness that I think that we heard from the original dream behind Mother's Day. It was that fierceness to end war. It was that fierceness to bring peace so that nobody was going to die, that nobody's son should be dead, or daughters, really. So when I think about motherhood, there's so many places that we could go with this. And I reflect on my own mom. And what I want you to do here this morning, part of it, is to reflect on what is the gift that your mom gave you. Even if you don't think you had the greatest mom in the world, she gave you some kind of a gift, right? And what is it about her that you so loved? What is it about her that is expressing itself through you? So when I think about my mother, I think the gifts that she gave me were a sense of humor and a sense of freedom. I had a great mom who was not overprotective by any stretch of the imagination. I was able to run and be free as much as I wanted to, so long as I was home when the street lights came on. Yeah? Then she'd come looking for me. But other than that, she really let me come and go as I pleased. She let me pursue the things that I wanted to pursue. And what it did was, because moms have great power. Moms, you have great power over your children. And if your mom thinks that you can do anything, guess what? You can probably do anything. And when I was a teenager, one of my dreams was that I wanted to travel. I wanted to travel overseas, or anywhere really, because my family never went on vacation. And we were born in Chicago, and we never really even left the borders of the city. Sometimes Crystal Lake, which was about an hour out of Chicago, but not really, because my dad believed that everything you could possibly want is within the border of Chicago. Why would anybody ever want to leave? So of course I wanted to leave when I was a teenager. And I would make plans to go like to London or England with my girlfriend, and she got married and couldn't go. So then I find somebody else, and we were going to go to Colorado, which for me was foreign, and that would cancel, and something else. And so I was always like talking about these trips I was going to go on. And finally I saw an ad in the paper that said, planning a trip to Africa, call this number. So I called it, went, and I came home and I said, Mom, I think I'm going to go to Africa. I was 20 years old, and she said, would you do me a favor? Would you stop talking about it and just go? You know? And I thought, that's a great thing for a mom to say, especially like when you're 20, because what she said in that statement was, I believe that you can go. I believe you have the resources, the inner strength, the smarts to go to halfway around the world and go traveling. I think you could do that. And because she believed it in me, I never doubted that I could. And as long as she believed in me, I was willing to try things that I may not have ever tried. So I asked you the question, what is the gift that your mom gave to you? What is that gift? And I would like to hear it, and we'll have to just sort of shout it out, but I want to hear, maybe one at a time.